Why is it important for us to learn about candies as a class? Candy is the bee's knees. It's important because candy is still around today, and to see the changes and improvements of these candies just shows how far we have come. Have you heard of any of these candies? Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Hershey Kisses, Milky Way, Heath Bar, Mounds, Milk Duds, Babe Ruth Bar, Peanut Chews, Bit-O Honey? In 1922, Harry Burnett Reese, also known as H.B. Reese, makes the first peanut butter candy coated with Hershey's milk chocolate. They were also called penny cups and were just 1 penny each at a time. Today, they still remain one of the best-selling candies bars of all time. In 1923, Frank Mars introduces the Milky Way candy bar. It was designed to taste like malted milk and was inspired by the chocolate malt milkshake that was popular at the time. It's one of the first candies with a nougat center. In 1923, the Mounds chocolate bar, coconut filling coated in milk chocolate, makes its debut. Invented by Peter Paul Hallihan, it sells under the name Peter Paul Mounds, since Hallihan is difficult to pronounce. In 1928, Heath bars appear, the first chocolate-covered toffee bars. These were originally only offered for home delivery since they were sold by a dairy salesman. In 1926, Milk Duds were first sold. The Milk Duds name came about because the original idea was to have perfectly round pieces. And so, that was found to be impossible. The word duds was used. Goldenberg's peanut chews were first introduced in 1917 for use by the U.S. military as ration bar during World War I. In 1922, Goldenberg's peanut chews are introduced the first wrapped peanut chews candy for retail stores. Bit-O Honey first appeared in 1924 and was made by the Shutter Johnson Company of Chicago. It was a new kind of candy bar consisting of no chocolate with a sweet taste and taffy consistency. It was of 6 pieces of candy wrapped in wax paper and then packaged in a wrapper. Hershey Kisses were originally each hand-wrapped in a square of silver foil, but in 1921, machine wrapping was introduced and adorned with a small flag on top. In 1923, the Baby Ruth candy bar, named for President Grover Cleveland's daughter Ruth, is introduced by Curtis Candy Co. It is a candy bar bursting with peanuts, rich caramel, and chewy nougat. Why is candy important in U.S. history? The timelines of candies illustrates the development of the American candy industry from the 1900s on. Many candies and their founding companies have come and gone, but it is interesting that about 65% of American candy bars have been around for more than 60 years. Electric machinery made the candies. Also, with candies being produced, there were more things for people to buy. Why is candy important to the time and culture of the 1920s? The price of candy was a lot cheaper than a clam. You did not need a lot of dough to buy candy. Electricity. Machines producing multiple batches of the candy bars. During this time, candy may have caused a lot of tooth damage when some of the candies came about, and the average child under the age of 10 had 7.5 cavities. What should classmates know and learn from this section? You all should know that candy did not have as big of a selection as we do today, and that it was not as common. You should have learned which big cheeses created each candy that I talked about today, and that some of these candies are still popular and some are not so much nowadays.